Welcome to Chad Hates Carbs. Today we're going to go over how to cook a spaghetti squash the easiest way possible, and it's pretty easy. So basically, spaghetti squash is a nice way to get something that's spaghetti-like for fairly cheap, and without having to buy some kind of crazy substitute. This is literally just exactly like you buy it in the store, just spaghetti squash. Most of the stuff they talk about as far as cooking it, right here on the label, it talks about, you bake it at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. We don't have that kind of time. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut this thing in half, and we're going to end up cooking it in the microwave. Now, the thing to note, these things are ridiculously tough, so to get through them, it's pretty difficult. They're very hardy squash. So you definitely have to get on it to be able to get through all the crazy. So we're going to go ahead and just rock it through there. And obviously, because it's not something processed, some of them are easier than others. But in general, just expect it to not be super easy to cut through. And make sure that you don't, cut off your fingers. Sometimes it'll cut pretty clean, other times it will not. So that one wasn't too bad as far as cleanliness. Now, you don't want any of the stuff inside of here. You want to go ahead and scrape that out. So we're going to scrape that out, and I'm only going to prep one half of this because I only need about half. This is a pretty big one. But basically, what you want to do is you want to scoop this stuff out and just put it in a bowl. Now, if you're feeling really adventurous, you can actually toast the seeds. I know when I was a kid we used to do toasted pumpkin seeds, but this is literally the same general thing that you're going to do that you would do to a pumpkin. Because normally, when you clean out a pumpkin for decorating or whatever, you got to take out all the guts. The thing to note, because you're actually looking for the spaghetti out of this, you do not want to get much more than just the seeds out of here. You want to leave most of the little strands and whatnot, because that's the stuff that you're going to be harvesting from this, is the actual spaghetti. So let's get most of the seeds out. And if you have a few seeds, that's fine. You can always, cooking the seeds isn't going to hurt anything. It just makes it a little bit easier at the outset to get them out of there. But my mom used to toast the sunflower seeds. We had sunflower seeds too. Used to toast the pumpkin seeds. That was always a good time. So sometime I might have to try that, since we do eat a lot of spaghetti squash anymore. So anyway, so once you've got the seeds out of there, all you need to do is then get a Pyrex container, Pyrex being important. You do not want glass. You can use glass. I could use this bowl if I wanted to, but it really wouldn't sit very well. But you do not obviously want to put metal in your microwave. But that's what we're going to do, is we're going to microwave this guy. Some of the recipes you'll find will say go 4 minutes and then 4 more minutes. I haven't had a lot of luck with 4 and 4. I go 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, and that seems to be a better way for at least the ones that I've been doing. Wow, this one has a ton of seeds in it, all the way up in there. So anyway, but all you need to do is you need to just get the seeds out so it looks something like this, and then you pour 1/3 cup of water. You want to have some water in there, and then you just set it face up, and then you want to get plastic wrap. And for some reason we still have our red holiday wrap. We must have got a lot of it. You just want to put plastic wrap right over the top of there. You don't need to tuck it down or anything. Just set it on top. That'll be fine. And then set it in the microwave for 4 minutes. And then make sure everything's looking good and it's not burning. And then do it again. So we're going to put it in for 4 minutes, and we'll check back in just a little bit. See you then. So now we have a very hot squash coming out of the microwave. I'm going to tell you a little secret. I cheated because I have a rotating microwave, one with the carousel. So whenever you cook this, rather than having to do 4 minutes and then turn it and then 4 minutes and turn it and 4 minutes and turn it, which is what the recommendation is to make sure everything's evenly cooked, if you have a carousel, you can just slap it in for 12 minutes and then just let it cook. Okay? So what you end up with, obviously, is a very, very hot spaghetti squash. And the idea here is basically what you're going to do is you're going to shred the interior of this. Now, when you cook it, you're going to find that a lot of times you're going to get seeds, like the seeds that were hidden. I was telling you there were a lot of seeds in here. So there's going to be some seeds that you're going to be able to see pretty readily. Generally, you can see it immediately after you cook it. They'll be right there in the front or on the top. And sometimes if they're really little, it doesn't matter because it'll just be kind of extra texture, I guess. So anyway, but the idea is all you're going to do is you're just going to take the fork and you're just going to shred, and it's going to come out like this. And you just put it in another container, obviously. And it should be noted that the texture of this it's not exactly like spaghetti. I mean, some people will take issue with it needs to be exactly like it. Personally, as long as it's kind of stringy and it bulks up my food and kind of vaguely resembles pasta, I'm okay with it because I'm not a huge pasta guy. I mean, while I like spaghetti as much as anybody, actually, literally, that can't be true. If I liked it as much as anybody, then I would like it as much as someone that loves it more than life itself. So I like spaghetti fine. I'll say it that way. Anyway, point being, if you're super picky about your texture of pasta, this probably won't solve your problem. But if you just want to be able to eat spaghetti with your family, this is a great way to be able to make the sauce for them, and spaghetti, regular spaghetti or linguine or whatever for them, and then you can just eat this stuff. Now you'll note this is a pretty big spaghetti squash, and I'm getting quite a bit here. This is probably, I mean, for me and my wife, this is for us to eat tonight, actually, because both the boys are working tonight. So, so she and I will be eating pasta, and we can both eat this, and it'll be great. And obviously, I put the other half in the refrigerator so we can eat it later, and that'll be perfect. We generally don't eat a ton of spaghetti, but it is easy to make, and it is easy to kind of scale to the number of people that you have, as opposed to something like hamburgers. So spaghetti squash and spaghetti, whether you use spaghetti sauce with it, or if you want to do like I did in that previous example with Cincinnati chili, where you just basically just put chili on top of this, which I like to eat. That's also a nice option. I like just having spaghetti squash in the fridge so that I can reheat it with something else that I have around, because you can also make Alfredo with this. So I'm going to be showing an Alfredo sauce that you can make with this later on when I'm eating leftovers from the spaghetti squash that I just put in there. I'll be making Alfredo with that, so we'll show you that. But once you're done, you're going to get to a point where you're kind of scraping the edges, and by the way, it's really hot. Anyway, you're going to be to a point where you're scraping the edges and you're not getting a whole lot out. You don't have to scrape all of it out. I'm just super cheap and I like to get my money's worth, so I scrape all of the insides out. But you start to see that there's not a ton inside here. But scraping it, you can keep getting a little bit, but sometimes, if you're tired of scraping, just stop and be done. Like I said, I'm that kind of guy that just likes to get all of it. So, at any rate, that's how you cook a spaghetti squash. Again, cut it in half, slap it in a Pyrex microwave safe container, and cook it for, in my case, 12 minutes on a carousel. But if you do not have a carousel microwave, you will want to turn it, because otherwise you're going to get hot spots and it's not going to cook evenly. So anyway, hope that helps, and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.